Hi, Ryan Sherrod again with NWFF Environmental. Today we're going to talk about the half-face respirator, the correct disassembly, cleaning, and reassembly of your mask. So as we pan into our half-face respirator today, we're going to be working on the North 7700 series from 3M and Honeywell. We've got a North 3M medium size 7700 from Honeywell, and this mask has two primary parts. The first is the head suspension piece. This head suspension piece needs to be cleaned often because as the user sweats, this can collect bacteria, and these straps need to be properly decontaminated. We're gonna put this off to the side so we can talk about the main functions of the mask. This mask has 3 valves. Each of these valves comes out of the mask, leaving one continuous monolithic mask for cleaning. We're gonna go ahead and put our thumb over the filter assembly and press that out. As we press that out, please use great care and caution as this check valve can easily break. We'll do it to the same side, we'll do it to the other side of the mask. Pop this out. We'll take the exhalation cover off, and then we'll take, by pressing our finger on the inside of the mask, we'll take that entire assembly out as well. What this does is this leaves us one continuous mask that we can turn inverted, and we can do a thorough cleaning on the inside. Any small crevices in the mask need to be cleaned thoroughly. The outside of the mask needs to be cleaned thoroughly, and while you're cleaning it, inspect your mask for any tears, punctures, or holes. Down to the components of the mask. This is your exhalation valve. Please notice how this seats in, very similar to the full face mask. When you remove this, do so with great caution. Pull as close as you can to the inside valve stem, as this also has a small beveled edge to sit and hold inside of its assembly. We will remove these one-way valve covers. And this is as far as you need to break down the half-face respirator. From this position here, you will clean, sanitize, let thoroughly dry. As soon as it's thoroughly dried, we can go ahead and reassemble the mask. So we'll be back in just a second after we clean and sanitize this mask. Okay, we're back after we have cleaned and sanitized our mask. We've allowed things to thoroughly dry so there is no moisture contained within the straps, and our head suspension piece and our face assembly attachment is thoroughly dry and sanitized. Coming to the mask, when we put this mask back together, the first thing I like to do is reinstall the check valves. When you reinstall the check valve, this should be able to freely turn. If it doesn't, it didn't clear that beveled edge. Please ensure that it clears that beveled edge. Freely turns. We'll do the same thing here. When we put this stem through, we will pull it very carefully, not to over pull, so that it snaps right into place. As soon as this is reassembled, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put these valve pieces back in by stretching the mask around it and allowing it to come and form into the natural grooves. As we reinstall the filter assembly, you want to be cautious as to not roll the mask over the threads. If you do, just pull the outside of the mask. If you roll over the threads, the mask will look like this. Just pull the outside of the mask to allow it to seat properly. Do the same thing on the other side. Remember, the mask is very flexible, so you can manipulate the mask to easily get around that seated valve. When you put the filter assembly through, if it's not correctly seated, you will find that it rolls like this. That is not correct. You can have escapage from the mask when it is rolled like that. Please seat it correctly and your mask integrity will be there. Put the exhalation valve cover back on. This protects that one-way flap. And then put your head piece on. The head piece, the head suspension says top, this side out. Put your finger on the back of the stud. Push it through. If you're working around other studs, be careful not to put your finger on those studs without their permission. And your mask is reassembled. From this position here, we will do an integrity check, ensure that all the pieces are installed. We will look at our valve to ensure that those valve checks are in place and make sure that our valve stem is indeed intact. That is the correct assembly, disassembly of a half-face respirator, North 7700. This is Ryan Sherritt with NWFF Environmental. Thanks for watching.